have a maple syrup cake, and we also have some oranges on the side.
The original recipe calls for part butter, part margarine. Eggs, maple syrup, in place obviously of cane sugar, brown sugar, all-purpose flour, some barley flour, salt, baking powder, baking soda, and if you read the list of ingredients, it says to use warm water, but then if you read the body of the recipe, it says to use milk. That adds more flavor. And that is it. It's a cinch. Just divide it among 3 pans. And it only takes about 15 minutes. The maple cakes are done. They're out of the oven. And the maple frosting is ready. This is just maple syrup and an egg white.
Maple seems to be a flavoring used in a lot of these desserts.
It's interesting to me as an early American historian, someone studies the Revolutionary era, because in the 1780s and 90s, maple syrup was being promoted, or maple sugar was being promoted as a way to avoid slave-grown cane sugar. So now it's being substituted for a different reason.
Do Americans have more of a sweet tooth than other countries?
They were eating more sugar than other countries, according to some studies at the time. And for many people, not using a lot of sugar was really seen as a sacrifice. And even what we now value as the sort of interesting, richer tastes of honey or maple syrup were seen as less desirable and less sort of pure and white and clean.
One way you could cut back was to not frost your cakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so all cakes were frosted. I mean, this just seems...
We're using, again, these alternative sugars rather than white sugar. Molasses was common too. So.
There are also recipes for things like eggless, butterless, wheatless, sugarless cake.
Yep.
It was
I'm not really sure what
What was
was
in those cakes?
it was dried fruit sort of held together.
Someone I know makes a war cake that his mother made that was a recipe from World War I, repeated in World War II, which had a lot of raisins, and it was all things that were not being shipped overseas. But wasn't the government also promoting fruit as a substitute sweet?
Absolutely, as a substitute sweetener and also as a source of vitamins. Vitamins had just been discovered by scientists around 1910. And so this was the first time that Americans had heard officially that fruits were more than just starch or water, or more than just kind of a fun, nice ornament for your meal, but that they were actually essential. So the place of fruits and vegetables in these war cookbooks was really important and seen as nutritionally essential.
Were the conservation efforts successful in increasing what was able to be sent?
If you read the propaganda, it sounds like Americans revolutionized their diet and sent a huge amount. They did send a huge amount more, but it was mainly because of increases in production agriculturally and in some lessening of waste. American diets, and of course it's very hard to measure, but from what we know, they changed a little, but not that much.
It's one of the posters says use less wheat, not use no wheat, but some sacrifice.
See how big a sacrifice eating this cake is.
All right. There we go.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hardly sacrificeable.
Well, what I like is it's not too sweet, which may not have been appealing 100 years ago, but right now it's pretty.
Yeah, it's really nice. The cake itself, yeah, is kind of dense, not too sweet, and then the icing is just really yummy, mapley, light icing.
Do you taste the barley, and does it taste different to you from a cake made with just wheat flour?
It certainly tastes more.
Tastes a little grainier.
It do taste
in
a
a good way.
yeah,
A little nuttier.
It's not as refined, but to my palate these days, I think it's great.
Yeah.
This is a very sweet note on which to end our video.
Yeah.